Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. For the first time, Ethereum has broke $1,900. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up. Also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. This could go along the same series of Ethereum hits a certain value. In other news, I found a quarter. The reason why we say that again is because yes, it's trending up, but against Bitcoin, it's trending down. Everyone, I've seen a lot of people get super excited about Ethereum breaking $1,900, and to be fair, it is an exciting move to know that we have a $1,900 Ethereum. I understand right now it's $1,893. What's a few bucks among friends, right? It was $1,900 an hour or two ago. But what I see happening a lot of times is Ethereum starts to trend down a little bit, and everyone gets really upset. And that's generally a sign of having too much money into the market, right? You're overexposed in the market. And then when it goes up, everyone gets happy, and you're walking around like Warren Buffett. You're calling Forbes, wanting to schedule your interview. And as I've said before, I think it's too early to schedule it because there are no guarantees yet. There is no free lunch. It will depend on Bitcoin. Now, one of the things we've said is that Ether Bitcoin is more likely to trend down than up as long as Bitcoin stays in price discovery mode. There is a chance that this wick is the local bottom and we trend back up. But if that's the case, it likely implies that 52K or 52.5K is the local top for Bitcoin. Okay? That's what it likely implies. So if it does continue down, which is the direction it's headed right now, and as we said over here, right, the direction the direction will likely stay down as long as Bitcoin is in price discovery mode. So if Bitcoin remains in price discovery mode and continues higher, 53K, 54K, on any given day, Ether can bounce back against Bitcoin, but over the macro scale, the trend against Bitcoin is down more than likely until Bitcoin leaves price discovery mode. Now, one of the things we should say is that a $1,900 Ethereum at this point is not that exciting because it's coming on the back of a decreasing Ether Bitcoin valuation. Okay, we would like this to actually go this way because then it means it's outperforming Bitcoin. So one of the things I should say, and it all goes back to risk management. And sometimes I don't talk about risk management, and other times I do. And the reason I do is because I feel like by ignoring it, you're not doing yourself any favors. I want Ethereum to go up. I do. And I think it's more likely than not that Ether USD does trend up because that is the momentum. And again, it's hard to break momentum. Eventually it will break, and eventually we will no longer be on this parabolic curve. But as long as we're on it, the gains can come in quickly. So with that said, though, as you guys know, I talk about on the channel from time to time, I have these risk metrics that I follow in order to systematically move into the market and to sometimes take profits when the risk gets high. One of the things that I see a lot of people do is they get really upset anytime there's a slight move to the downside. When Ethereum went to, say, $1,600 just a couple days ago, or $1,690 or something like that, I saw a lot of people getting really upset and whatnot. And again, this is a reminder that there is no free lunch in these markets, right? There are risks, and you bear those risks by entering the market, whether you like it or not. A lot of this will depend on Bitcoin. So it all comes back to Bitcoin, and I cannot tell you the short-term implications or the short-term price direction of Bitcoin because, as I've said before, short-term moves are more akin to geometric Brownian motion or a random walk, not something that we can realistically and accurately predict time after time. So the strategy that I follow so that I don't regret pumps ever is I systematically take small amounts off the table, okay, depending on where the risk level is. And you guys, we've talked about the risk levels before, but as they trend higher, I tend to take more off. So if the risk is, say, at the first band, I might sell Y. If it's at the second one, I sell 2Y, third one 3Y, and so on and so forth, so that I'm scaling up my sells as it continues to march up the risk bands. That way, I systematically take small amounts of profit when we're at the lower risk levels, and then larger profits when we're at the higher risk levels. Again, we've discussed the risk levels on the channel before. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I would encourage you to check out prior videos on the risk levels. This is stuff we cover on the premium list, and again, you can sign up for the altcoin season sale in the description below and lock in the lower rate. You'll get access to those risk levels, and you at least understand how I navigate these markets so that I don't really care what happens, right? This is the place I like to be. I like getting to a point where I'm really somewhat apathetic to exactly what happens, where that I'm managing my risk in a certain way that when the risk is low, it's heavily DCAing into the market, okay? The accumulation phase of a lifetime, the reaccumulation phase of a lifetime. If we put on our regression band here, let me find it. You guys remember these phases. These were, definitely times I was moving into the market. I mean, it was not financial advice, but I called this the accumulation phase of a lifetime, and this one the reaccumulation phase of a lifetime. And I was, continuing to move into Ethereum for a while. But one of the things that I don't feel like a lot of people understand necessarily is that you don't in the same way that you DCA into a market, you can systematically DCA out of a market as well. Now, I'm not saying that, you need to go sell your Ethereum right now. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying that if these markets, whatever your risk tolerance is, let's say you've decided that you're going to sell a small amount of Ethereum when it reaches $2,500. A lot of times what I see happen is people will then, when it gets to $2,500, people will then just move their goalpost and say, okay, well, it's already at $2,500. Might as well keep on going. Let me not take any off the table and move it to $3,000. And then they keep playing this game and they never actually take profits, no matter how high it goes. And then eventually it doesn't make it to whatever their next target is, and then it goes back down. But then they don't sell either, because then they just want to wait for it to get back up to the prior level. They kind of come to terms with the fact, okay, it's not going to make it to my prior level, but let me just wait until it bounces back up to the level it was at yesterday. And then it never makes it to that level. So that's the dangerous game that you play. I'm not saying that Ethereum's topped out or anything, just trying for people to be prepared for moves like that in the cryptocurrency market, because if Ethereum ends up going to 2K and 3K and 4K, and then you've set these goalposts that you want to stick to, I would say make sure you stick to them, right? Don't sway from what your plans are. Just my own tidbit of advice. And again, if you just want to ride out these markets for a few years and you don't really care what happens in the short term, that's a fine strategy too. Okay, that's a fine strategy too. So again, Ethereum broke $1,900. We all think it will go up. A lot of us do. We all want it to go up. It seems like it should, given the fact that Bitcoin is at 52K. But there exists a universe where Bitcoin dumps. And in that universe, Ethereum would dump, okay? So we're not saying that's going to happen, but that's the downside risk, is a Bitcoin dump. So I would say, it's not financial advice again, but if you're comfortable at this level where we currently are, and you don't care about potential downside risk because you're more interested in the potential upside, and you recognize that even if it does correct back down, you're still in it for the long haul, and that Ethereum is likely going to trend up much higher than $1,900 over the duration of the market cycle, then no problem. But if you're one of those people that likes to send me messages anytime Ethereum dumps 5 or 10% because you're looking for guidance, I got to tell you, 5 to 10% drops for Ethereum are nothing. Nothing. It's nothing. That's just a Tuesday. That's just another day. So just make sure you protect yourself and make sure you're not investing more than you can afford to lose. And as long as you're in that boat, then it's much easier to ride these parabolic moves, because whenever you get a slight downtrend or something, who cares, right? You'll capitalize on it, or whatever it is you want to do. So Ethereum made it to $1,900. We've said that if Bitcoin continues on in price discovery mode, it'll likely drag Ethereum up to 2K. And if it does, and then Bitcoin has a slight correction but not a capitulation, Ethereum can go into continued price discovery mode itself. All of this depends on a somewhat stable Bitcoin. Reduce the Bitcoin volatility, and this will allow Ethereum to shine barring a Bitcoin capitulation. This is what we're looking at. These are the risks involved. If we can hold off on a Bitcoin capitulation, then Ether USD will likely do well, right? Whether Bitcoin goes up or sideways, Ether USD is probably going to go up. Those are the two scenarios that we want. Because if Bitcoin goes up, we're more or less just kicking the can down the road for a theoretical Ethereum breakout against Bitcoin. If Bitcoin goes sideways, then the catalyst for Ethereum is likely going to come sooner. These are the different options that we have. So hopefully you guys like the content. Again, sign up for the premium list if you want to follow the strategy I use. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you guys like the content. Give the video a thumbs up. Remember, we also have the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. I hope to come on here in the not so distant future and talk about a 2K Ethereum. Let's hope we make it there. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Bye.